Everton have been handed a 10-point deduction by the Premier League due to breaches of financial fair play after what was a relatively impressive start to the season. It's all now been wiped away and they currently sit on 4 points in 19th spot. In this video I'm going to be talking about Everton, their 10-point deduction, why they've been given it and can they potentially still stay up. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and if you can support, please donate to Movember, link in the description, trying to raise as much money as possible. So why have Everton been given this deduction? Well, simply in the Premier League, in 3 years you can have a maximum loss of £105 million. In the last 3 years, Everton have had a loss of £124 million, almost £20 million in loss. Now, why are Everton in debt? Well, obviously the pandemic has occurred over the last 3 years. That's affected a lot of clubs. Carlo Ancelotti spent big on a lot of players in terms of transfer fees and wages, and Everton didn't really see a lot of return in terms of transfer fees from those players. And in general, Everton just have not been a well-managed club. For a club of the size of it, it really is embarrassing, and it feels like the fans are now being punished for poor ownership. It's been a terrible couple of years for Everton fans, and now things just get worse because now they have to deal with a 10-point deduction. It looked like a season they might potentially be comfortable. They wouldn't be in the middle of the relegation battle. Well, now they're just brought back into it. It's clear Everton have been trying to spend less money. In the summer, they made a €42 million net profit selling players like Moises Keane, Iwobi, Demarai Gray, Thomas Cannon. And then go back a couple months earlier, they sold Anthony Gordon, an academy prospect, for a massive profit. In the last 12 months, Everton have made a profit in the transfer market, which is very impressive. You also take into account the last 3 years, one of which was during COVID times where there was no fans inside the stadium. Surely the Premier League would factor that and think, fair enough, we might leave you off because of that. But no, Everton have been handed out the biggest Premier League point deduction in history. This deduction is something that affects on the field. It affects this Everton team because they're now in a relegation battle, because they're in the relegation zone, but it's because of matters off the field. So because of this incompetent Everton board, the Everton players, the Everton fans are being punished, and now they're right back in the middle of the relegation battle. If I'm being honest, I still think Everton are going to stay up. If they win one game, they're out of the relegation zone. Luton drop down. They play Man United at home next. That is going to be an entertaining game at Goodison Park. The fans are going to be all up for it, all fired up, and I think, you know what, they're going to win that game because beating Man United these days isn't too difficult. I think realistically the relegation battle this year will be a lot easier for Everton than it was last year. I think the quality of the team is weaker this year, and you would not be surprised if the 3 teams that came up, Sheffield United, Luton Town and Burnley, went right back down. Leeds, Leicester, Southampton, all good teams with good players, and it looks like they have a good chance of all 3 of them going right back up. So if Everton had got that 10-point deduction last season, I don't think there's any chance they stay up. Obviously mathematically they would have finished 19th, but this season I think the quality of the team is weaker. It's not going to be as hard of a job. I still think Everton will be amongst the battle, but I think they will comfortably stay up and it won't go to the final 2 or 3 games. Obviously the financial situation isn't just going to go away at Everton, so you feel like there might just be a few major sales, the likes of Jordan Pickford, Onana, because they're still going to be spending money on their new stadium. They're still obviously going to have to bring in a few new players, so some big names could be leaving Everton in the next 12 months. So let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of this whole Everton situation? Do you think the Premier League were right or wrong to give them the 10-point deduction? And do you think they will be staying up? If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and again, if you could donate to Movember, I would really appreciate it. Trying to raise as much money as possible for men's mental health. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.